Memento Mori, remember that you must die, is a Latin phrase that on the surface may sound morbid, even a threat. However, such things cannot be farther from the truth. Its role lies culturally as a philosophical tool and artistic tradition designed to ground human vanity, provide moral clarity, and inspire deeper appreciation for the present current state of being. It's less of a morbid one liner and more of a constant reminder of the world around us and how much little time we have to spend in enjoying it. Besides also being a reminder of what we should enjoy, it's also a reminder of the things that we wish to escape. We all eventually will die, and that is not a thing you can escape. There is no single pill, there is no single anything you can do to suddenly make yourself immortal. We are all conceptually trapped to the idea of mortality. It serves as a constant reminder to the human ego that eventually, whether you are poor, rich, dumb, or a genius, you will die. You will be forgotten, and time will move on. The phrase is originally thought to be tied to ancient Rome when a general returned victorious from a major campaign. The Senate would often grant him a triumph, the highest honor the Republic could give. For one full day, the city stopped. In ancient Rome, this was equivalent to the world stopping, considering how big the empire was at the time. For the entire day, even the businesses would take the day off like it was the Sabbath. Crowds would fill the streets in celebration. The general, draped in royal purple, which was a symbol of great status at the time, rode through Rome in a golden chariot, almost seeing himself as a mini god. Behind him would of course be his army and the spoils of war. The people cheered him as the living embodiment of what it means to be Roman. In ancient civilization, a lot of these things would be equated to being idolization, for great reason. To receive that kind of glory would inflate anyone's ego to the heavens and beyond as we know it. But the Romans had a quiet counterbalance, more so especially than ones that were less fortunate. Through the parade, a common slave, which was seen as equivalent to less than human, more so a stock animal, stood close to the general and repeatedly whispered two words into his ear: Memento Mori, remember that you will die. A deliberate reminder, in the middle of absolute triumph and celebration, that even the greatest among them were still mortal and will die. Sometimes in our current world, even the best of us, we need that same whisper. Caught up in our work, our ambitions, our daily wants and needs, we lose sight of the larger picture, the one that stretches across generations, centuries, and all of time. Individually, we are temporary, we will die, but when we keep our egos in check, something opens up. We start to see the beauty that exists beyond us, our lives, our mortality, the quiet connection that links the distant past to the far future. Memento Mori isn't meant to depress us, it's meant to free us of all the worries of common day struggles and anything that holds us down on a day to day. A lot of what attributes this term to being considered morbid is the fact that it frequently throughout history appears on gravestones. It serves as a visual and textual message directed at the living to remind them that life is short and death comes to everyone. I will note, the history on this term is very confusing for the fact that the mixed information about who, at first, said this term. We do know, however, that it was someone that was less than considered by the current society of their time, either a slave, a peasant, a servant, someone who in their rights to their life believed that they were serving people who believed themselves to be God. People, human beings just like us, that believed due to their status and their wealth that they were above other people, the world, morals, and, even so, their own mortality. This term, however, was not limited by the extension of human speech. It is frequently used in symbolism as skulls and vanitas themes in medieval and Renaissance art. It serves as a powerful message reminder of human mortality. Key examples include Albrecht Dürer's coat of arms with a skull, as well as Andrei Pevelatti's Memento Mori. Similar themes include the Brock triptych, painted by Rogier van de Weyden. Its outer panels show a skull resting on a brick as a sign of human loss and earthly limits. Displaying this saying, however, isn't even limited to the saying itself. There are many symbols that evoke the same feeling. Bones show the final end of the human body. Hourglasses and clocks show the time running out fast. Wilting flowers and rotting fruit show that beauty and life fade away. Extinguished candles also symbolize the same thing, meaning life that has gone out. The transience of earthly pleasures and the certainty of death, these symbols evolved from plague-era imagery into sophisticated philosophical and religious statements. Besides the term being mostly observatory and objective and not very specific, it has been used across various beliefs and religions for spiritual purpose and tradition. Believers of Christianity meditate on death, judgment, heaven, and hell to evaluate their spiritual state, It represents detachment, reflecting on the temporary nature of life to help Christians let go of greed, pride, and luxury. For monastic practice, monks and nuns historically used physical reminders and sometimes greeted each other with the phrase to keep eternity in mind. On Ash Wednesday, featured across various Christianic branches, not limited to but including Roman Catholicism, Lutheranism, and other Protestant denominations, the ritual of receiving ashes, remember that you are dust and to dust you shall return, acts as a direct annual enactment. In Christian art, tombstones, paintings, and chapels feature skulls, skeletons, hourglasses, and the dance macabre, dance of death, to symbolize that death equalizes all ranks of people. Across time, meaning has been lost greatly, not limited to, but specifically to Memento Mori. The common aesthetic-only version, just dark imagery and skulls, and the morbid, edgy version of it where people only use it to symbolize death without the actual enactment of realizing what you have in your current life. And the more pop culture recognized shallow, live every day like it's your last YOLO type of version. These misreadings separate from the actual function of the reminder because they symbolize more of a look how cool I am versus a personal moral to abide by daily. In my own life, Memento Mori acts as self-discipline rather than despair. It helps me live every day with passion and purpose, and it keeps as a reason for restraint and precision. It helps me keep a solid, focused routine daily that benefits me and the people around me. Now, as well with what other people do with angel numbers and common sayings, the only thing that truly matters after a reminder is what you do with it. Even so today, there are still places that are currently upholding that represent this same message. For example, the Capuchin Friars Crypt in Rome. While the people that run the museum and allow entrance to the crypt itself have blatant messaging stating that it is not a celebration of the macabre, however, I do believe interpretation is up to the eye of the beholder of art. Nowadays, people frequently exhibit Memento Mori in daily objects. Historical examples of everyday items that carry the reminder include rings, watches, snuff boxes, mourning jewelry, serve as a physical, constant reminder of the inevitability of death. This phrase is commonly associated with morbid fascination, but the two are distinct and different topics. There is a quiet and important difference between remembering death and being fascinated by it. Memento Mori is not a fascination with corpses, crime scenes, or the aesthetic of decay. It is not scrolling endlessly through true crime footage or collecting the images of macabre for the thrill. That is morbid fascination, an appetite for the dark that often leaves us more distracted, more anxious, and less alive. Memento Mori is different. It is the deliberate, sober recognition that your time is limited, that the people you love will one day be gone, that every ordinary moment is already slipping through your hands, and, because of that recognition, you are invited, almost forced, to ask better questions. What actually matters? Who do I still need to forgive? What am I postponing that I will one day regret? Where morbid fascination feeds on death as a spectacle, Memento Mori uses death as a teacher. One keeps you staring at the grave, the other turns you back towards the living. The first can leave you numb, the second, if practiced honestly, can make you more present, more grateful, more courageous, and more kind. So the next time that death crosses your mind, ask yourself, which of the two are you practicing? Are you merely consumed by the darkness and the macabre, or are you letting it clarify the light of the current day in the living? Remember that you will die, not so that you can dwell in the shadows, but then you can finally begin to live. In the daily practice of Memento Mori, it affects knowing your limits, sharpening your decisions, lessening your waste, and more deliberate action. It is commonly also referenced in Gothic literature, for example in The Picture of Dorian Gray, Frankenstein, and Hamlet. After the reminder settles, what is left that still holds value to you? Will it be either your family, something you do in daily practice, your animals, your legacy, or will it simply be each day that you left? Is your Memento Mori maybe a song, a hobby, someone you feel close to, or maybe someone that you secretly wishes one day to find the cure to mortality?